Alright, so Astrid and I are heading to Three Creeks Farm in Charlotte, Tennessee. Astrid has gifted all us guys a blacksmithing lesson. So we were heading there to meet Noah and Gabe and Oliver. Astrid actually, several years ago, made I guess what would you call that, a double hook or something? It's like a hook that goes down to another hook. Really neat. So she remembered that, thought it'd be fun for us all to give it a try. So what are you thinking about this adventure?
Well, Three Creeks was pretty awesome. I went there actually originally to get some wool. They hand dye wool there. They have their own sheep, and it was sheep shearing day. So I went and helped them do some sheep shearing and bought some wool. And in the meantime, they had a blacksmithing class. So I went ahead and tried that too, and it was super fun. I got to make a hook with the twists in the middle and points that bend down on the sides. So I recently purchased a couple of anvils for Neil and for Oliver for gifts, and I thought it'd be super fun if they got to go to a blacksmithing class. This guy makes ram's heads and all kinds of cool things. He travels around and goes to fairs and stuff doing his blacksmithing. His name is Steve at Three Creeks. We'll drop that down in the description for you. Anyway, come along, join us. It might.
Alright, so we're at Three Creeks, and we're going to do some pounding, I guess.
Pound some iron.
Pound some metal.
Is that a duck?
Yep. This guy's
It will hold an edge. Okay, we can make knives out of this mild steel today, but it won't hold an edge. You'll be sharpening it every 3 or 4 times you cut something with it. Okay, just not have enough carbon or any alloys in it. This is just called mild steel. We will cool this off in water. We can cool it off 100 times, and it won't make any difference because this will only get so hard due to the carbon content. If I were using tool steel, that's why they fuss at them in forged and fire, need to only quench it once. Because tool steel, if you quench it more than once,
It gets brittle.
you make stress in there. And it can make it brittle, it can do different things to it, but it will put stress in the steel, and then your blade's going to fail. Okay? But we don't worry about that today. We can do this 100 times. There's not enough carbon to make it fail. Okay? So we don't have to worry about that. We'll be using water. If you use tool steel, you use oil, some type of oil. We have a generic type of oil. We use canola oil.
Okay.
It's just about the right viscosity to slow things down. It's not perfect. There is what they use on forged and fire is called Parks 50. It's an expensive type of oil made just for knives. Okay? If I were a knife maker and making knives to sell, I would use that. But I don't. Okay? And I don't do Damascus. So in force of fire, they're trying to put pieces together and do Damascus, and it fails a lot because you're not successful in welding it together in the forge. I just do one type of steel in making knives, so it won't fail. Okay, I've never had a knife to warp, never had one to crack, because I don't make Damascus and I don't use weird kinds of steel. All right, I use steel that I know what the outcome's going to be. If it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. Just leave it alone. Okay. Yes.
Is there any reason they use Damascus over
It's
just for
pretty.
aesthetic?
It's mostly because it's pretty. Okay. You can take one type of steel that's lacking in something and put it together with another steel which will complement that. They will complement each other. So if that's all you had, so you might want to do that, and it comes out pretty. Okay, you're trying to get a pattern, and there's all different kind of patterns in Damascus. Okay, in America we put pieces of metal together. In Japan they fold it, and they fold it, and they fold it, and you fold it and hit it so many times you're making it so strong. You're condensing that material over and over, and you've got a product that you can't get by sandwiching. Okay, not to say that our Damascus is not any good, but that process has been going on for a long time, so we can't add too much to that actually. Okay, we're going to be using mild steel, and this is very soft. We're going to heat this up to an orange color. Orange is the color that we know that it's the right temperature to work. We go by the color. Disadvantage of being working outside, most blacksmith shops were dark, so they could actually see what color it was. And when they did make a tool, one of the steps they had to do, which we don't do that in class anymore, is we want the metal to temper or to cool off at a certain rate, and we want to be able to see the colors move through that material. And you can actually see the colors change in a dark place. And when it gets to a certain color, we can cool it off. So I had it yesterday. This is totally unrelated, but it is. My dad was a water well, an oil well driller. And he would sharpen his bits. If you know anything about drilling a well, you've got a big bit in there and it digs into the ground. And it would dull it. So eventually you have to sharpen it again. And him and my uncle would sharpen it with sledgehammers. They would put it in a big 55-gallon, half of a 55-gallon drum full of coal, get it hot till it was orange. I didn't know that when I was a kid, but I always said, hey, that's orange, that's pretty. And they would do it at night. And they would hit it with sledgehammers, boom, 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 and it would get blunt on the end, and they would hit it with sledgehammers and make it into a point. And we're talking about a piece of steel that big, okay? And I used to watch them do that when I was a kid. I always wondered why they do it at night. Well, they did it at night because they could see the colors change when it cooled off, okay? And so I talked to a guy yesterday who actually drilled my water well. He was a well driller, him and his dad. And he said, yeah, I learned about that because we would be working outside doing something, heating up metal, and my dad would take his hat off and hold it so it would shade the piece of material so he could see the color change. He didn't understand exactly why his dad did. He thought he was getting his cap warm. He didn't know he was shading the sun so he could see the color. So blacksmiths, having to deal with metal, this is all physics. And those old blacksmiths didn't know it was physics. They didn't know they could teach physics because they had learned by experience how to do it. Okay? So we're not going to worry about that today. We're going to heat this up, what you're beating on, to an orange. When it's orange, it's ready to pull out of the forge and start whacking on it, all right? Strike while the iron is hot. That means move to your anvil quickly, because this is pretty small. It's going to cool off pretty quick. So the quicker you get to your anvil and start beating on it, the more work you'll get done. Don't poke-a-doke along, okay? I get some people just can't get that message. They want to kind of, oh, well, I'm going to walk over here, you know, and I'll get over here and I'll look at it and get it all set, and maybe I'll get myself ready, but then it's already cold. And you
got to start over.
Excuse me.
Oh, you're fine.
So anyway, move quickly. When you pull the metal out of the forge, put it down to your side. You don't want to be sticking out like this and give somebody a nice brand. So bring it to your side, bring it back quickly and get to work, okay? We got a whole lot else to talk about, but that's one of the main. Coal, you can't always see when you got it stuck in the coal. Gotcha. And you miss one, get too many in there, forget one, and you bring it out and there's a little melted blob on the end, okay? We won't have that problem because this won't get that hot. It'll get it nice and orange, and that's where it will stop, okay?
What temperature is that?
Around 2,000. 1,800 to 2,000 degrees is where we want it. And I know when it's orange,
That's what temperature it is.
that's what it is. So
Gotcha.
we don't have to have a temperature gauge. We just know with that color, that's what it is. That's the way iron and steel work. To make this little thing on the end, which is called a scroll end. There are different types of these. This is the smallest one we use for small things. Okay. If you look at that thing hanging behind you, that bottom part where the bottom part hooks over, that's a different kind of scroll. That's called a fishtail scroll because it's kind of wide. It's widened out. So we have different scrolls for different things. This is the small one we use for small stuff. And we're going to learn how to do this by hand. A machine cannot do this. Only the blacksmith can do this. Okay? And you're going to learn how to do it with your hammer and your anvil today. Okay? After we make that on there, this is on there partly to make it look better. But if you're going to hang your hat or coat on, you don't want to poke a hole in it if it's sticking up straight. Okay? Then we're going to make a hook. Then we're going to put a twist in it. Okay? The twist doesn't do anything except make it look pretty. Okay? So you're scrolling, hooking, and twisting. 3 of the main things we do all the time. Okay? You're also going to make this scroll, you're going to be drawing it out. And drawing out means you're going to stretch the metal. All right, you're making it smaller to a taper. We're going to taper this out to a small point. Okay, then we're going to learn how to roll it over, make the scroll. Finally, we're going to flatten this out, put a hole in here, and you've got a hook.
Nice.
Okay, that you can hang whatever you want on it. I have these all over the house, all over the farm. There are other adaptations for this. You can do a double one.
That's what I made with you the last time I was
Okay.
here.
Well, you just get to make a different thing else you can do with it. You can also make, this is another idea. This will go over a door or it will go over your deck to hang the planters, hummingbird feeders, that kind of stuff, right? It sits right over a deck. So just instead of doing flattening, you can make this to fit over your 2x6 or 2x4 or whatever. Okay? So that's the basic. As you get better, what are you going to do?
You buy a better one.
You're going to buy a better one because it's going to sound better and it's going to be better to use. Not exactly quality here, but when you learn to use a ball peen hammer, I didn't make a good analogy. I'll think of something else. You're going to get you a 1 pound ball peen, okay? Great for small spaces on the ball side. You can dish out things, okay? You can make peen things and make it look old by making little dimples in it.
That looks cool, yeah.
And that looks really cool. So get you while I'm talking about 1 pound, we'll get to that in a minute, okay? You also need this is called a cross peen hammer, okay? This is called a peen, this is a cross peen. There's another one that comes out the other way, but it's just like a wedge, okay? This is very useful in widening material. If I'm going to make I've got a piece of material like that and I want to make it look like that, okay? I want to widen this part. I can use this to do that with. If I start in the center of this rectangle, I'm making ridges in there, okay, when it's hot, and I'll come the other side, make all these ridges, then I'll flip it over the flat side, and flatten out those ridges, and it pushes the metal sideways. I'm making ridges in there, okay, when it's hot, and I'll come the other side, make all these ridges, then I'll flip it over the flat side, and flatten out those ridges, and it pushes the metal sideways.
So like that hook there at the bottom, right?
At the bottom, yes, I could do. Okay. I would use that at the bottom to widen that bottom piece. Okay.
Right.
So this is good for other things. Sometimes you got a really small area, you got to get something in, hit it, right there at the crook or right at a certain place. This gets in there. Okay. I would say at one point this was the go-to hammer for some parts of the country and in America. The ball peen hammer is the go-to hammer in England, Scotland, Wales. My name is John Pryor on hay bale. All right. When you're drawing out, one thing we're going to remember today, we're only going to heat up the amount of metal that we want to move. So we're going to only heat up about 2 inches worth. Okay. When you get 2 inches heated up, there's 3 places we can draw out. This is the easiest place and the best place to learn. I can stretch the metal out over here. I can do it on the horn. The horn is the quickest, but it's ugly. And you've got to bring it back up here to clean it up. This is a little bit, not as fast as the horn, but it's pretty fast. Not quite as ugly. This is the slow way, but it's nice and pretty. You don't have to worry about cleaning it up because you're going to be clean the whole way through the process. Okay? So what we're doing in drawing out, no matter whether it's a small piece or big piece, we're going to be hitting it on this corner. So that means when I hit it on the anvil, I'm going to hit it right there. Not flat. Not flat. Not flat. Okay, and drawing out, we want to start our taper by doing that. Because when I hit it here, the anvil's smashing underneath me. So I'm tapering the top, and the anvil is tapering underneath me. Okay? I'm going to hit it like 2 times, and I'm going to turn it 1 time. And now these sides have not been touched. I'm going to hit here 2 times. I'm just going to go back and forth, the same 2 sides. Because the other 2 sides are being shaped by the anvil. I'm doing 2 with the hammer. The anvil's doing the other 2. Now this is cold, and I'm not doing much to it, am I? A little bit, but not much. When it's warm, it'll go pretty quick.
That's
they're really cool.
Yeah.
All you hear is a little whoosh, whoosh. And it's really cool to use one of those. This is okay, and then it's very efficient. Works well. I'll be demonstrating on this one so y'all can be able to gather around. No, it may be pure iron, but the quality of that pureness is different. What did I do
Pure
here?
shite.
I'm only putting the amount that I need on the anvil, okay, about 2 inches. Not all the way around, just on 2 sides. And you see I just started to taper.
Yep.
Just started to taper, okay? And I only hit it right there. I hit it 4 times in that one small space. I think that's the hard. So I don't ever hit it back here except it's by mistake. Okay, I hit it back here, and that means I'm trying to keep all of this right here. Get down to the end. Sharpen it up. You don't want to hit it on the very end. When it gets colder, it will split. And then you got to cut it off and start and redo it a little bit. So that's what you're going for.
all right.
Okay? All right, you're good. You can just leave yours.
Okay.
You got yours done?
You can just
Yeah, I'm
leave,
good.
you can just leave yours too.
Oh, I said I'm good too.
But, no, it didn't get too hot. You're good. You're good. It's really good. Nice point. Dropping off. You might want to make. See, if you get a little tiny point. This one. That's about all you want. That's gonna be a real little one. I wanted a little bit more than that, but that's okay. Okay, so all I did was. Wants to bow up right here, you get it right here, that'll force that, and you put that back down, and you got a little 90 degree. Okay?
That's significant.
Yeah. Now I'm running this on the balance here. Make it 2.5, 3 feet aside, that's not very much. One stuff that I use for things, but I don't use a lot of 1/2 inch. Most of the stuff we make, all the hooks and everything, we use 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch mild steel. Hit it hard. Drive it all down.
Might have one in the middle of the road.
Now you got to stop. You got to do this. Nice thing about it is we will just straighten it out. Okay, all you got to do is
Get in there, man.
the nice
I'd
thing
give one,
about the
but I
middle.
don't know what I'm doing.
And you're good to go. That's okay. Hit it hard. If you hit it hard, it'll drive it right out of there. There you go. Now turn it up and see how it looks. No, this looks pretty good. All right, what you're going to do, I'm not going to heat mine up. You're going to get it hot right in the center of it. Okay, so you have to use tongs to get it out of there. So you're going to get yours hot at about the center. When you bring it out of the forge, turn it over in your hand like this, so you're not holding it like this, because you're going to put it in the vise. It's awkward to put it in with your arm all up like this. It's much easier if you got it like this.
Gotcha.
Especially if you're short. It shouldn't be a problem for you.
I'm gonna try.
It helps if you got your hand, if you got it this way. All right, you're gonna bring it over here. Y'all come on over. At least have your pigtail right below the jaws. And try to keep it vertical, okay? You'll hand me this. Now I've got 2 or 3 different types of twisting wrenches. This one works the best. I just took a lawnmower blade, cut this into an angle, okay? I can grab a hold of it like this, get it locked. But sometimes if you're doing a big half-inch piece, you gotta have some leverage. So the longer this is, the more leverage you have, okay? So I've got these marked. This is the small 1/4 inch. So you're gonna put that in there, okay? And you're just gonna twist it. It's like butter. So this is the easiest thing. You just don't want to overdo it, all right? So you want to come through and make one complete revolution. Don't turn loose of it with both hands as you bring it around. Okay, always keep one hand on there. It'll fall off and you're not in the same place you were before. And your twist might be a little uneven. Okay? If you hold on to it with both hands, as you do your twist, it'll come out nice and even. You want to make sure if you look at this one, I'm off it, this is angled off this way. So you want to make sure that when you stop, after you're just straight ahead, lined up with your hook, right? So you don't want to be like, I would correct that, because now this is off this direction. You just want to make sure, don't move around much. This stuff will go everywhere.
But does it matter where we put this in the beginning? Does it need to be up high or is it?
About halfway.
Okay.
About halfway between the end and your hook. Okay?
Slow and steady.
It doesn't matter if you go clockwise or counterclockwise. All the way around. You're doing good. Keep it not moving around. Keep going all the way. We'll stop right. What I normally do, I pick it up, hold up to the light. You're nice and straight. You see how that little scale in there? That's what you want to get off the brush. Hand those tongs. Well, let me get another pair of tongs so the next person can go.
Looks like eggs next.
Who else is on top?
Eggs.
Yeah.
Did you quench yours?
Y'all doing good on the twist. That's nobody's getting too crooked. Leave it in the quench tank.
Oh, leave it in.
Yeah, leave it in there.
Slow and steady. Up straight.